Okay, so sometimes as these things happen, there was that transition was not a transition at all. That just suddenly cut. Thanks OBS for being perfectly functional. So, where's my 3DS? It'll probably show up momentarily, right? There we go. OBS is being weird today. I have 47 hours in this save file now, apparently. So, a lot of things have happened since last time. I have done more shenanigans of, you know, transferring save file to my 3DS and, you know, getting more materials and stuff and forging up a bunch of stuff. So I have a whole bunch of more forged things and stuff to make grinding maps easier and whatnot. And I actually managed to get everybody into a promoted class. So I mentioned last time when it came to grinding, like, hey, everyone's getting close to level 20. Let's just get them there and then put them into promoted classes. So that's what I did. That is exactly what I did. So let's see what is new here. So yeah, some forged stuff here and there and some weapon experience, yada yada. Besides, there's a Master Ninja, which, you know, I guess is kind of his canon class, and hopefully that'll help patch up his res a little bit because, well, Master Ninja gives like res plus 20 and his res normally sucks is the thing. Hana is a great knight that should help patch up her kind of shoddy defense that she had. I don't even think her defense growth rate is all that bad. I just got like really bad luck on leveling her up. So she used a partner seal with Silas to get access to the Cavalier line. So she's a great knight now. Kazi's defense kind of sucks a lot of the time, so I just threw him into Oni Chieftain like, hey, let's get him defense and stuff. So there's that. Also, I could have sworn that from Partner Seal, Rinka already has access to the class sets of Oni Savage and Ninja. Those are her 2 class sets. So I thought that because she already had those 2 class sets, that Partner Seal would give her Samurai from Kaze, and I'd be able to get like Astro Advantage and stuff on her. Nope. The Partner Seal gives her the Ninja class, which is one of the classes she already has, so I'm a bit disappointed about that. I could have sworn that if you already had a class set as part of like one of your 2 main class sets, that you would get your partner's like secondary class set from Thingamabob, but maybe it doesn't work like that. So that's unfortunate. Kaguro freaking Master of Arms patch up like defense and also get experience and things. We managed to get her up to weapon level D there, and then don't really have that much proficiency here. What else is new? I threw Ryoma into a Master of Arms because I was like, hey, let's get some more skills. I even used an Eternal Seal on him to get him all the way to level 25 because I had a bit of a realization. So if we do wind up picking up like all the child units after like a couple chapters from now, so it's like they have all the child seals available and I can just store the child seals in the convoy like the thing that I've discussed and just never use the child seals and, you know, get the child units as early on as I can to keep their child seals without using them, and then be able to like grind them up in the grinding map without them being like so far under leveled that I'd be forced to use the child seals, you know. I realized that when it comes to getting the child units ready, I would have to have each of the parent units ready with whatever skill I'd want them to inherit. So for example, Ryoma would probably want Shiro to inherit Luna because that's something that Shiro wouldn't normally be able to get, that Ryoma got from A+ with Silas, for example. So Ryoma is like my one parent who's like, okay, all of his skills are done. This can just be his final build, essentially. But, you know, if I'm supposed to do that for like every other parent, have at least the skill that, you know, I plan on passing down to their child unit at the ready by a couple chapters from now, that might be a little bit tricky, and maybe I will wind up over leveling some more. I probably would I had him in Master of Arms for a little while because well, getting the last couple skills and stuff that he needed while he was leveling up. He has access to them now. Like, he got up to that level. I could always use an Eternal Seal on him if I wanted. Heck, maybe I should even do that. Do I have a spare Eternal Seal? Yeah, he has those ones. I don't think I have a spare one, do I? I don't think I have any more. I think I got like the one from some other castle and then I didn't get any more. Yeah. Whoops. That was a mistake. Hello, Lance. Time for more Birthright. Indeedly do. Indeedly do it is. But yeah, I would normally like reclass him back into Samurai since that's what he's best in, but like he's so over level and OP right now anyway that I figure, hey, let's give him experience in other weapons because screw it. You know? How are you doing today though, Lancer? And you as well, Anima, who stopped in saying hi earlier. Turns out, I guess Jacob just by default has an Eternal Seal already applied to him since he could level up past 20 and such. What else is new here? Hinata's a Sword Master, should help maybe slightly patch up his res a little bit. Both these two are freaking Sky Knights and such, or Falcon Knights, sorry. And that should just freaking be fine enough and stuff. Aboro's Bizarra instead of Spearmaster because I think that has a better chance of patching up res, I think was the thing about that or something. I don't even remember. But everybody's promoted now. Oh yeah, and Rinka is Master Ninja because her resistance is freaking garbage. So she's gonna level up in that for a while because my goodness, her resistance stat sucks. It like really sucks. Finally, Ryoma can use the club named after him. Can he already? Where's Ryoma's club? Where is it? Where's Ryoma's club? There it is. He can use it. It only needs D. Yeah, he can use Ryoma's club. Look at this. Look at that. Look, he's got Ryoma's club now. Apparently, that's Ryoma's club. So, there. Isn't that crazy? There, isn't that absolutely insane? Okay, well, he's got the thing. So, yeah, everybody got up to level 20 and got promoted and such. As such, we have a lot of supports. So, you know, brace yourselves. The storm is coming. We're gonna be here reading things out for a little while. Is the thing, Bob. In some other news, my university semester is wrapped up now. Also, my chat is where it's normally supposed to be, so like that sorted out and stuff. I got the cable adapters and stuff that I needed. We have 99 beans. Can't get any more of those. But yeah, things are set up here and the uni semester is over, so like, you know, that's a big relief off my, off my shoulders. I survived another semester, luckily. My goodness, I had to answer like a 78 question final exam for my earth science class that, you know, that was certainly something. But you're doing good. You were playing Minecraft earlier today and you got the best seed you've ever gotten. You typed in existential crisis as a joke. And it gave you a seed that spawns you next to a ravine that gave you a ton of iron and 15 diamonds. Spawns also fairly close to a desert village. Nice. Sounds like that seed worked out quite well then, didn't it? Man, I can't wait to start Minecraft shenanigans on this channel. Once I get my freaking RTX 3070, that from what I hear from Memory Express should be soon-ish. Because they're starting to get some of their back orders for October and once the freaking cave update comes out, that's supposed to be sometime this summerish. My nose and stuff. Okay, random crit. Falcon kick, I guess. Cool. In some other news, that one freaking Pokemon video essay is continuing to do like better and better for itself, and as such, I receive more and more like strange / very mean comments on a daily basis. Like earlier today, I received this one comment on this video saying, "Man, I hate this video so much." And I responded with, "That's a shame. I put a lot of hours into it." And immediately, on the spot, they responded with 3 comments, and then 20 minutes later, they followed up with a 4th after they saw that I didn't get my attention. Like, what the heck? What the hell? I have a couple pings on Discord. Where is this coming from? Oh, just like going live notifications and stuff and junk. So that was certainly something. I responded to one person's thingamabob and they immediately responded. He hates those glasses apparently. Immediately responded with 4 things. I need the content creator's attention so bad. Like, whew, my oh my. But yeah, hello more. Soon you'll be raging in Dark Souls. Yeah, Mad Lad May is about to start here, so we'll be starting that soonish. Then you got a cat named Rafa, tried to get her in a boat, but when you finish your seafaring adventure, the boat glitched out of existence with Rafa along with it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that there, Lancer. But yeah, I've received a lot of very peculiar comments lately, to say the least. I had one person comment on one of my video essays today that wasn't even my Pokemon one, saying that I should upload my playthroughs to a different channel because my playthroughs were a plague on their homepage. It's like, okay, that's certainly one way, you know, you can word it. They worded it, they taint your good vids like this one. For me, at least, the playthroughs are a plague on my homepage. It's like, that's certainly some way to word that and such. One person earlier today, 5 hours ago, apparently said, "This would be so much easier to listen to if you didn't sound lobotomized and the remixes weren't louder than your voice." What? Yeah, I renamed the castle the meme zone. Oh yeah, that was something that happened off camera. I tried to type in the meme zone, but there wasn't actually enough character space. I was one character short, so I had to change it to the meme zone instead of the meme zone, because there straight up wasn't enough space in the freaking character limit for, naming the castle. But when it comes to comments though, I know that I've shared this one comment before. I don't think during any of these playthroughs, but just in case for anybody who hasn't heard about this one yet, I want to share my favorite comment I've ever received in my life, which is on my Pokemon video essay. I'd like to just read it out for you real quick. I get I have liked new game, but Rush product also came during the holidays and pandemic. Are you forgetting all over fucking had shutdown, make do, didn't sick COVID-19? Baby, that can game developer then get and just so everything. The way going wailing about when people die or hospitalized makes, all caps, more than any wailing monster than could do any if no understanding of fucking pandemic, you fuck asshole. Those human monkey are undernourished obligations to work for bloody you, pandemic do actually or that too stupid. And then the same person followed up 20 minutes later saying, it takes time to human being learning operating system do any for perfect know-how computer every single way. No, if technically you don't, I am talking about the everyday person. So, you know, that is probably my favorite set of comments I've ever received in my life. And I'm a little bit sad that I didn't get more of them. I wonder what would have happened if I would have replied. Would they have replied back to me? Would I have been able to see more of that? Guess we'll never know. Guess we'll never know. Freaking maybe in some other timeline. I just wanted to share that. You got a stroke from hearing this. You know, I'm honestly debating about throwing a video together that is literally just like reading out the comments from my Pokemon video essay and just seeing stuff like that, among many other things. Like, I'm not sure if it's something that I'd ever do, but I've never been so motivated to make a video on reading out comments in my life, because, you know, it's certainly something. But yeah, Lancy once got a comment on one of your old, now deleted videos where someone was looking for their child and asking if you had seen them. What the heck? I got a freaking, when it comes to like weird stuff that people comment that has nothing to do with the video, I got a comment once being like, hey, I'm just this person who's gonna freaking spread the good word of Christ on every single video that I see, and I'm gonna list out all these freaking reasons of like why you should follow him, and here's literally 18, I counted it, it was 18 different links to like different like biblical kind of stuff. I was like, I've made it my mission to freaking, you know, drop this message onto like every single video I see. So this person put this exact same comment onto 2 of my different videos, and I was like, man, if that's your mission, then yikes, I guess. There's definitely some very strange stuff on YouTube, and I feel like a lot of people in the comments of that one video, like the person who freaking followed up 4 times, well, I'd say that I'd show it, but maybe I won't, because I don't have like a version of it where the names are blacked out, and I got a comment 10 seconds ago saying pessimist. That's cool. That's not really what I am, but okay. But yeah, 3 hours ago, and then I respond 2 hours ago, and 2 hours ago, 1 comment, 2 comment, 3 comment follow-up, and then 1 hour ago, another follow-up one, and I honestly wonder if I'm gonna get more of that. I don't want to freaking, you know, show people's comments with like their names on it, because I don't want to like promote, you know, going after certain people, even if they are, well, certainly some kind of way. I guess we're reading out support conversations. Hopefully it won't be as wait, what was the comment just the word pessimist and that's it? Yeah, just now, literally just now. Freaking, I can, hold on, if I control print screen it, I don't like showing people's names on like certain thingamabobs, so I'll freaking put it into Paint 3D right now, like this, and then like freaking black out the profile pic and name and stuff. Boop, there, done, safe. Where's display capture? literally just now. I just copy pasted this 2 minutes ago. As I was checking my comment section, it was like 10 seconds ago when I first checked it. Pessimist. Not really, no. Broke a long angry thesis about why the YouTuber is wrong. Woke pessimist. That's just the freaking woke way of thinking. I'm just clearly not enlightened enough to truly understand. But in all seriousness, I am honestly debating about freaking, you know, doing a video just covering some of the comments I receive, because it's certainly a treat sometimes. Other times there are sometimes that it can be a bit discouraging, like, especially because I am a very sensitive person, and seeing so many people who, you know, try to make me feel as bad as they possibly can because I slandered a freaking series of children's games, but they interpret that like I just assassinated Archduke Ferdinand or something like that. Good day, Zama. Thought I might find you here again. So sometimes it can be a bit discouraging, but, you know, I just gotta accept, hey, that's what the internet is. And hey, maybe once you have people trying to, like, hurt you as much as possible, maybe that's just a sign that you freaking are doing something with your YouTube channel, I guess. I don't know. Just want to thank you once more for protecting me the other day. It's been a little while since you hopped into Fates. I don't remember when the last session was, but I need to remember what these supports even are. Really? It was nothing. You're welcome. And I must admit, the comments I've been receiving, the bear stew that the cook prepared was delicious. I'd just like to apologize for refusing to carry any bear intestines back to camp. Again, please don't concern yourself with such trivialities. Apology accepted. So, will it be another day of meditation for you? Yes, I wish I could spend my whole life doing this. It's a good distraction from the ultimate and total futility of war. I see. So, you don't believe there's value in defending our friends and family? And also, can I just say, I really wish there was some way in YouTube settings that I could just, like, not get notifications for comments on, like, specific videos that I register for that, but there isn't, so what you gonna do? Oh, that's an interesting argument. I agree that it can be sad when another entity leaves this plane of existence, but I am comforted by the very nature of the universe. We are all mere manifestations of a much larger consciousness, of course. I don't know. Call me old-fashioned, but I think this plane of existence is pretty special. Still, perhaps it is wise to take some comfort in the absurdity of life. And the absurdity of life, like some of the absurd comments I receive. Yes, that's exactly it. You know, you're much wiser than you look, or act. Well, thank you, I think. Now, if you don't mind, I would like some quiet time out here. Oh, yes, of course. I'll be quiet, but would you mind if I sat here a while with you? Be my guest? I also feel like, okay, all these people getting angry and saying your opinions on Pokemon are wrong, ironically are missing one of the key points of Pokemon as a series, which is to accept ideas that are not your own. Yeah, freaking Pokemon's supposed to be all about, like, bringing people together and having people be able to, like, find their own way. Like, the whole thing about the series is you can catch whatever Pokemon you want, make whatever team you want, and be able to meet, like, all kinds of other people who do the same. Like, freaking... At my workplace, at my university, several of the staff there still play Pokemon Go, and when they go to do, like, raid battles and stuff, they'll meet, well, before COVID, they'll meet up with people from other buildings who came to do, like, raids as well, and they get to talking and freaking yada yada, and it's crazy, like, the kinds of connections that kind of thing can make. Heck, one of my mods, I won't say which one of my mods, but one of my mods' moms traded gifts in Pokemon Go with my mom for a very long time. I don't know if they still do anymore, but freaking the moms of myself and one of my mods traded gifts in Pokemon Go for however long, and I think they reached best friend status. I don't know if they did or not. They came, like, very close. So that's certainly something. And there's also, like, there's a lot of comments that I've received that have, like, nothing to do with the arguments that I was making. Like, for example, I bring up Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire as an example of, like, here's an example of a Pokemon game that is a remake, but it feels like a new original title in the series. It's like the next successor, it's the next natural game in the series, since it follows the exact same art style as the last game. It freaking builds off of the mechanics that were introduced by that game, being freaking Mega Evolution. It introduces new mechanics for it itself, things like the freaking Dex Nav, Latias Ladiosaur, being able to catch every previous legendary, the Delta episode, all kinds of things that made it feel like it was a remake, sure, but it felt more so like a new original game, kind of disguised as a remake. so I bring up auras, like, just for that point of, like, hey, it's been standard in this series so far to, you know, have remakes be a new original title under the guise of a remake. And I cannot tell you how many comments I've received of, like, I can't believe you didn't talk about how bad Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was. You can't freaking bring it up and then, like, not talk about, like, how awful it was. It was such a bad game. It was so boring. Like, you're so wrong saying these good things about it. And I was like, I look at this and I'm like, how good or bad the game is doesn't mean anything. First of all, how good or bad it is an opinion. And second of all, that doesn't have anything to do with, like, my argument. My argument was, this is an example of their standard being that they would, you know, do, like, a new modern take on a classic title, unlike what the Diamond and Pearl remakes are doing. But some people interpret that as, like, this video is so bad because he didn't slander auras because it was so bad. And it's like, you know, whether or not I agree or disagree with that, which, by the way, I did enjoy Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire myself, but even if I was of the opinion that it wasn't a good game, then that doesn't stop me from, you know, using it for this one example, I guess. So there have been a lot of comments of, like, things that, you know, literally don't have to do with my arguments and such. Yeah, for some people think Auras is a bad remake. I have no idea why, but they do. I mean, it's not perfect per se, but I generally really liked it. And I mean, there's a lot of people who also are like, it was bad because they continued with Mega Evolution, or there's been people who, like, comment on that video being like, the Diamond and Pearl remakes are better this way because there's no Dynamaxing, and that was the worst part of Sword and Shield that made them garbage games, and yada yada. And it's like, you know, that's an opinion, but, you know, I don't get it. I don't understand. Let's see some more support conversations. How about? Look, can you see how the leaves on the path are a different color? Oh yes, they're really quite pretty. When I look at them now, I want a closer look. Oh, don't do that. Were you listening earlier? That color change is a sign of a hidden hole. Oh, did you say that? I did. Here, look at the base of that tree. Does it seem odd how those fruits are there? Oh, those look really, really fresh. Seeing those makes me kind of hungry. Setsuna, I told you not to touch stuff laid out like that. You'll be hanging upside down by your ankle if you do. Oh, sorry. How many traps are freaking set up in this world anyway? I don't understand. How can you be this inattentive all the time? That's how I feel like a lot of people are to that one video. They just see the title and freaking assume that they know everything about it, and then freaking leave nasty comments being like, oh my gosh, you're so wrong because I either saw the title or like 5 minutes of a specific... You've got to be way more aware of your surroundings. I guess you could argue bad game because no Battle Frontier, but even if that kind of sucks, one missing feature does not make a bad game. Does not a bad game make. Absolutely, and you can still, like, praise certain aspects without, you know, saying that the whole thing is awful because of that. Like, I'll look at aspects of Sword and Shield and be like, okay, the fact that there's basically no main game post game, the fact that there's not every Pokemon included, and the reason for that was a freaking lie from the Pokemon company, and the freaking, you know, general textures being a little bit wonky, especially things like trees, and one mountain that I believe to the east of Motostoke was like the freaking jankiest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the just general aesthetic and world being kind of meh. That doesn't naturally mean that the entire game as a whole is just freaking awful. I enjoyed Sword and Shield. I liked those games generally. Like, I don't like some of the things about it, but generally I enjoyed them, you know? And there's certain aspects of it that I think were absolutely fantastic, like the music or the fact that Pokemon actually exist within the world that actually helps the world feel more alive and such. There's definitely a lot of things that the game did really right that I would love to see the series continue to expand on, rather than just being like, oh, everything is awful because of a few select things. Guess the whole thing is bad, and let's just freaking take the easy way out and make a freaking chibi scale port thingamabob for the Diamond Pearl remakes and such. They didn't remove all Pokemon because they couldn't fit all of them. They could fit all of them more easily. They just didn't want to have them all. First, all shouldn't be there. Whoops, don't worry about that. Yeah, I had somebody comment earlier hold on, wait. There was this one from earlier today that I want to find. Oh, I got another new comment today because Game Freak is too effing lazy to do anything. I don't know if that's necessarily the reason, but behind things. So there's even comments like this one that I received just 7 minutes ago, that are seemingly agreeing with my video, but like, I don't really agree with. I honestly feel like I disagree with most of the comments that I received on that video, even the ones that seemingly agree with me, just because, you know, a lot of the time it is just, you know, a big kind of assumption thingamabob. What was the thing from earlier today that, or was it last night? Hold on. What was the thing? There was this one thingamabob. Ah, here it is. Here's the thingamabob. Anything will become controversial once it gets big enough. Eventually, people will be saying Breath of the Wild wasn't that good. An opinion I already have in some respects. Again, it's another one of those situations where I can look at that game and be like, there are things that are absolutely fantastic and wonderful about this game I'd love to see employed in future games. But there are some aspects that I just really don't like. Also, if you're mad about no national decks, then you try making 3D models, movesets, and in-battle movements for all the remaining Pokemon. Plus, Game Freak was on a time limit. Things like the anime and TCG rely on the main series games being out, and with there being so many Pokemon now, it isn't that strange for them to leave out the national decks. So, I don't know why a lot of people's arguments a lot of the time are like, well, if you're not happy with something, you try doing it. And secondly, they don't have to make new 3D models for old Pokemon. They've been using the exact same 3D models since X and Y. They had perfectly fine usable models. Why would they, you know, make completely new ones from scratch? It's a freaking bad business decision. Except that they already did make 3D models from 900 plus mods, and they reused models for the old mods from X and Y. Yep, ever since the, you know, onset of 3D graphics, they've been using the same models. But there's a lot of people that, like, fall into this mindset. This, like, weird freaking mindset where it's like, with every single game, they freaking remake every single bit from scratch. It's like, no, that's not... No. Freaking smart companies will freaking reuse stuff when they can. Like, even take Legend of Zelda, for example. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword all run off of the same general engine. It's why the back-in-time glitch works in all three of those games. When a company doesn't need to remake something all the way from scratch, they won't remake something all the way from scratch. Like, that's a freaking waste of resources when it can just be done otherwise. Like, I don't have to try to make freaking 3D models. All I'd have to do is use the import tool that they couldn't be bothered to use, and the Switch clearly has, you know, the right hardware to do, considering the 3DS games before them had more Pokemon available than Sword and Shield even after DLC. And something very strange about, like, these kinds of arguments as well is just like, oh, you can't be mad about something because you're not, like, an expert in that field yourself. Like, if you're not a 3D modeler, you can't be mad about there not being enough models in there. But I was mentioning this in the Discord server earlier today, but something very special about the society and world that we live in nowadays is there are so many complicated things around us that no one person is ever going to completely 100% understand every single little bit of everything around us. But everybody can become, like, a specialist within their own field in their own way and become like a brick that contributes to the wall that is like everything that we get to enjoy. Like, there's probably very few people out there that understand, you know, exactly how a car works, for example, like every single little process and why everything works the way that it does. Or people that understand, like, how exactly something like a freaking 3DS works, or like a phone, or anything. Like, what is every single little process going into that? And the thing about our society is we don't have to be expected to understand all these individual building blocks that, you know, build up a greater whole of something that we get to enjoy. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that if they can't understand the whole picture, they decide that the whole picture isn't there. And that's arisen in things like flat earth theories, by people not being able to understand the whole processes that go into, you know, determining that the earth is round and yada yada. But that doesn't mean that, you know, these building blocks aren't there, and that in the case of, you know, being sold a product, that you're not allowed to, you know, judge it and whatnot. Like, being told, like, you can't judge freaking Pokemon's models if you can't make better ones is like saying you can't freaking make a complaint about a car that you bought because it doesn't start. Like, oh, do you know how to get a car to start? Then you freaking do it then. You have no idea how hard it was. We were time crunched when making this car. It's like, huh? I bought a car from you. I want it to work. Honestly, don't like the 3D models of a lot of Pokemon. Feel that a lot of Pokemon lost their personality when making the switch to 3D. My favorite freaking Pokemon game in terms of like, you know, the models and sprites and whatnot and its charm was definitely Black and White and Black 2, White 2. Like the 2D sprites that were moving and such, man, I freaking wish there were more games like that. Imagine if Pokemon ever did like an Octopath Traveler style thing where it was like that kind of classic look in that way. Like imagine if there was some modern game that came out with like a Black and White art style, except with like things like realistic water and fire similar to Octopath Traveler. That'd be so cool. There's no way that would ever happen though. That'd be really cool though. But yeah, yeah, I do definitely feel like the most charm that they have ever had was as the moving 2D sprites in my opinion. But still, there's fully functional 3D models that they could easily just import over and not really have to change. That'll never happen, Sage. That'd be so cool. If only they made cool things from time to time. I've got to be more aware of your surroundings. What's so funny? I'm sorry, it's just, this is so much fun. Most people just kind of give up on me after a bit because I don't really listen. But you're trying so hard, then it just seems really amusing to me. Lord Harmonia, your face is all red. Do you need to cool down? We can move over into this really shady area if it will help. Here, follow me! I'll lead the way. So no, wait, that's... How many traps are there in this freaking universe? Where did this net come from? No, is this another trap? It's a trap! Yes. It's a good thing you're here already, isn't it, Lord Harmonia? Could you help me again? It'd make me really happy. I guess so. Just stay still for a moment. Thank you. So, I mean, there are definitely plenty of things that I receive that are meant to, you know, drag me down as much as possible, yada yada. Follow me to this shady alleyway, I promise I won't mug you. Exactly. But yeah, so there are definitely many instances of people who, you know, got very slighted because I insulted a children's franchise I get, and try to drag me down for that or other reasons. But there are also some out there who do try to like really, you know, cheer me up, make my day better and such. I don't know how to word things. Like just about a week ago, I actually got out of nowhere in Discord DMs, somebody wound up sending me fan art for my Pokemon Platinum playthrough, and I was like, whoa, that's so cool. I never would have imagined being sent that. What the heck? I'm so overwhelmed. That's so cool, and it freaking made my week, if not freaking month, for this past month. Yeah. Hello, Miss Hana, in the middle of some intense training. And I guess at the end of the day, life is, you know, in a way, all about taking the good with the bad, so, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. I don't know. Lord Harmonia, if you're here to ask about Lady Sakura, then you can stop right now. It's an issue between you and Lady Sakura. Don't try to get any information from me. What? It's not what I'm here for. I'm here because I wanted to talk to you about flat earth theories. Well, wow! It's dangerous. Even with a wooden sword, you could do some serious damage. Yeah, that, even wooden swords are considered, like, legally weapons because they're, you know, a blunt weapon. To the point that, you know, the freaking wooden training sword that I have for Taekwondo, if I was pulled over and... you know, that was found to be like, oh, this is legally a weapon that you're probably not supposed to have, even though it's a wooden training sword, because it technically counts as a blunt weapon, technically speaking. So, same with my nunchucks. Even though they're, like, padded and, like, training nunchucks. I've never used, like, actual hard nunchucks before, and I'd fear doing that because, you know, you can really hurt yourself if you're not using the freaking padded stuff. I've hurt myself with the freaking padded nunchucks I use. It freaking hurts if you nut yourself. Well dodged. Alright, you can ask me one question. What? Are you seriously only letting me ask because I dodged that attack? Hurry up if you have a question, otherwise I need to get back to my training. I'm surprised you didn't say that was your question used up. Okay. If I'm correct, you come from a family of samurai that have served the Hashido Kingdom. That's right, so what? So I'd say that a large part of why you work hard to train your mind and spirit is to pay respect to your family's samurai history, correct? Of course. I think that's terrific. What do you mean? I grew up locked away in a remote castle. I didn't know why I was there, and I had no ambition because I was isolated from life. So I'm fascinated by someone like you, who always knew where they were headed. I have someone who inspired me, my father. He was a model samurai. What kind of person was he? You killed my father! My name was Inigo Montoya, prepared to die. He devoted everything to King Sumeragi, who ruled Hashido at the time. More than once he saved the king's life. either by slaying those who threatened the king or by protecting him from danger. He gave the king everything he could, whenever he could. The stories of my father's accomplishments fill me with pride. He passed from this world while he was protecting the king. But even in death he fulfilled his purpose. His devotion to the king symbolized his life. For a samurai, to die in service is really the best possible death. I see. I live my life the way I do because I want to honor everything my father stood for. I understand your mindset much better. Sorry if this sounds rude, but I don't think dying itself is something to be respected. Even if you want to protect your master, I don't think it's wise to throw your life away. What? Are you saying my father was foolish to do what he did? No, I wasn't trying to say that at all. Your father was very admirable. He protected King Sumeragi to the very end, but I wouldn't want you to follow in his exact footsteps. Well, it's easy to criticize someone's actions after they've made them. I'll never forgive you for ridiculing my father's honorable sacrifice. Wait, Hana? Well, that went from 0 to 100 real fast. It sounds like my comment section of I'll never forgive you for slandering my favorite series of children's games. That's great. My dad is Santa Claus, evil Santa Claus, who freaking... the freaking evil Santa who wants to conquer the land and spread Fortnite in this world. Or whatever the heck he's doing in his imagination box that he keeps ignored there. Monia, I need to talk to you about our upcoming trip. Hello, Silas. Did you drop the list? Well, about that. I started writing down all the places I could remember you wanting to visit, but they're all locked down because of, you know, the whole COVID-19 lockdown that will hopefully start easing up as vaccines start getting out there and such. And on that subject, it seems like my upcoming university semester of like September to December this year is probably going to wind up being online again as well, even though a lot of vaccines will have probably gotten out by then, because it seems like the university is leaning towards like, it's probably better to start out online and see it through to the end like that than like starting out in person and then another wave of the pandemic hitting and then all of a sudden having to transition to online in the middle of the semester. So there is a chance that this might be another like full year of me doing online classes. So we shall certainly see, to say the least. I need to freaking, once I'm done with university, I really need to have it on my resume of like, I survived getting through university during like, you know, basically 2 years of things being online by the time that it'll be at the end. So there is a chance that things might be in person by the time September rolls around, but it's probably going to be online, just if my university plays it better safe than sorry, you know? Anyway, I started writing down all the places I could remember you wanting to visit. Goodness, that's a long list. Yeah, the memories just kept flooding back. It got a little out of hand. I was desperate to get out into the world, wasn't I? I kind of like for the freaking videos I'm putting out. I can't believe you remembered all these so many years later. Oh, well, I've always had a keen memory. So, where on the list do you want to go? Pick anyone you like. These aren't really places as such, are they? A town plaza, a street food stall, a festival. Did I really say I wanted to go see Bugs? Bug catcher, Dawn challenges you to a battle. What would a bug catcher's name in Pokemon be? Not Dawn. just imagine you freaking you're playing Pokemon and you get challenged by some bug catcher kiddo who has the voice of like some middle-aged guy from like Alabama or something. That's how I remember it. And then I'll defer to your memory. It's hard to decide on one though. Take your time, and you don't need to limit yourself to one, you know. We could take multiple trips. It really is good of you to do all this for me. It's all the more mysterious why I would have forgotten about you. For goodness sake, are you still brooding over that? Why don't we see if anyone in your retinue knows? They've been with you for a long time. One of them must know why, right? Yes, though I'm anxious they might have some reason for not mentioning you. Don't worry, Harmonia, I'll come with you. Whatever they say, I'll stand by your side. Thanks, Silas. Come on, let's get this cleared up before we do any more trip planning. Huh? Hey, wait for me. Oh yeah, one more thing that I would like to mention. When it comes to bug catcher Hank would like to battle. Imagine. Bug catcher Ezekiel would like to battle you. I bet that wouldn't be a freaking Alabama name. That was just me thinking of like, what's a very out there name, you know? Also, something else that I should mention, like when it comes to my spreadsheet that I have here and like plans for passing down skills to the child unit, a lot of the time, the child units will already have the same primary and secondary class as their father, and at least, you know, the same whatever primary class is being passed down from their mother. Not always. Like, for example, Ryoma has class sets of Samurai and Sky Knight, and Shiro, his son, has the main class set of Spear Fighter. So then he inherits, you know, Ryoma's primary class set of Samurai rather than Ryoma's secondary class set of Sky Knight. So, like, not always, but a lot of the time, the kiddos are going to have like the same primary and secondary class sets as their father. So for a lot of these father units, to give their child unit a skill they wouldn't normally be able to get otherwise, that usually comes from like their A+ support. So like, what skill can I get from their A+ support to pass down to their kiddo? Because that's a skill that kiddo would never be able to get normally otherwise, at least with my restrictions, since I've restricted myself to like not being allowed to buy skills or anything like that, just getting the skills I'm getting in this file alone and yada yada. So what that means is we might actually have, before we get child units, a decent bit of support grinding we've gotten all our S supports, but we now need to get our A+ supports to freaking, you know, pass down obtain good skills and then be able to pass those down to a lot of child units. So we might be support grinding for A+ supports. We thought it was done with S supports. It's not. We have more supports we actually need to grind. So welcome to trying to really flush out a freaking save file in this game to be like perfect. Welcome to that 101. Hello there, Lord Harmonia. Oh, Orochi, thank you for sharing those funny stories about my mother last time. I fear I made her out to be a buffoon, far from the truth. You did no such thing. You revealed a side I would have never known. But she had many facets. That woman was a gem. I'd like to tell you about the side of her that was kindness itself. I'm all ears. She was kind enough to treat me with the greatest respect. My family has long served as diviners at the royal palace. Why is my nose itchy? I'm allergic to your stories, Orochi. But we've been treated very poorly. I can't believe that. Really? We diviners tell as many bad fortunes as good, which can make us unpopular. How unjust to speak the truth and be blamed for it. You call freaking future predictions by divinations the truth? A little bit freaking tinfoil hat much? Sorry. Indeed, but my fate was changed when I met Lady Makoto. She treated me like her own daughter, no matter what fortunes I told her. A rare soul, I guess. The rarest. Why, once I saw enemies outside the palace. I rushed at them, tried to drive them off by myself, and got hurt badly. She wept at my bedside that night, and many nights after that. Once I got better, Lady Makoto said I must never run off like that again. To make sure that I didn't, she made me one of her personal attendants. She sounds like perfection. Lady Makoto was so kind. Being in her presence was like basking in the sun. A beautiful memory. Thank you for sharing it. Of course. Now, if you'll excuse me, Lord Harmonia. Those are all the memories that Orochi has in her right now. You speak about yourself in third person? Like, I do think that sometimes a gut feeling or sixth sense is, like, I do think that it's, like, a genuine thing. Like, we do live in a very peculiar universe. Like, I'm a firm believer in science, but the world is also such a weird place. Like, just look at quantum science, for example, where the world literally behaves differently whether or not there's an observer observing it. Like, it's crazy how, you know, inanimate freaking insanely small particles will literally change their behavior whether or not there's an observer. Like, we live in a very strange universe where it's like, the more answers we get, the more freaking magical and weird things seem. And like, there have been tests done before that show, like, when there is a lot of, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe what I've heard about is various random number generators being set up around the world and such, and whenever, like, a big world event happens that, like, people all around the world are thinking of, like, some massive thing happens, then all of a sudden the random number generators stop being so random. Like, it does, like, more and more of the same results, and it makes you wonder, like, does human thought really have, like, well, human or, like, any creature thought have, you know, an effect on the world around us, even if it's in, like, a potentially minor way? But when it comes to ideas like a sixth sense and whatnot, like, there was a time when I was, like, a kiddo. I think this was on the way to Germany, I think is what it was. Or maybe it was on the way back from Germany. Some trip a long time ago where I was told about that for the first time, and I was just like, that's so dumb. There's no way that you could just, like, you know, have a feeling that something might go you know, a certain way, and, you know, have it actually wind up going that way. And then, like, in the airport, there was, like, those, you know, walkways where, you know, it's like conveyor belts forward almost, and you go onto these walkways, and they speed you up getting from point A to point B a bit faster, since, you know, you're helped by the walkway, and yada yada, since the airports are super long. I had some, like, gut feeling, like, don't take this faster walkway, and I was like, doesn't mean anything. I took the faster walkway, and I was halfway through it, and somebody hit the emergency stop button, and it came to a standstill. So taking that walkway actually wound up being slower than taking, like, the medium speed walkway that was right beside it. And it wound up taking a long time to get to the other side of the airport. And then, like, immediately after, there was some, like, big escalator, and I had this feeling in the back of my mind, like, don't take that escalator. And I was like, it's just a fluke before. There's no way there's anything like that. I get on the escalator, and then somebody hits the emergency stop again in like 10 seconds of me getting on the escalator. And I look back and I'm just like, what the hell? How? I don't understand. But ever since then, I've taken these like gut feelings or like sixth sense kind of moments way more seriously. Like, not to the point where it's like I have a feeling that something's gonna happen, so it's for sure gonna happen. But I'll at least like consider it and be like, maybe there's something going on here that, you know, could lead to things happen a certain way. Like, you could argue that it's, you know, a very anti-science way of thinking. I'm, you know, a firm believer in science, but again, you know, this world is a very strange place. It literally acts differently depending on whether or not there's an observer. So there are definitely, like, I don't know what kind of forces at play, but there are some forces at play that we don't understand at all. Don't know what those are. I'd love to learn more about them one day, but, you know. But yeah, I mean, this fantasy settings where divination can actually be a thing, unlike real life where it's all hooky. Yeah, like when it comes to real life stuff, if somebody says that they have like a feeling that like, oh, maybe I shouldn't wind up doing this thing, that's like, okay, maybe that could be, you know, a valid kind of thing, a valid concern, and maybe there is something weird about like the universe telling them that something weird's gonna happen. But if you freaking seek out like a fortune teller who says like, oh, you are going to meet the love of your life at this time and place, and oh, I'm seeing this particular thing in your future, yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. In my opinion, what a lot of fortune tellers actually do is they'll use things that they know are common for a lot of people. Like a fortune teller might look at your palm and be like, oh, I'm seeing like a red car or something like that. Do you know anyone who has a red car? Which is like a really common thing, and the person like being a red would be like, oh my gosh, my best friend has a red car. And then the fortune teller will be like, ah yes, I'm seeing something about that. I need to hold my palm up more. I'm seeing something about that friend with the red car. Something about something else super common, or yada yada. You know, so that's how that's how I feel about that. So when it comes to, you know, sixth sense or gut feeling kind of moments that, you know, happen for a lot of people all the time. Like, for example, something else that you can't really explain is, you know, that feeling where it feels like somebody is watching you, like you have eyes on the back of your head, and you turn around and there's somebody who's looking at you right at that moment. There's weird things like that where it's like, okay, there is probably something going on here about, you know, I don't know, the way that we interact with the universe or something, I guess. To the point that it can make you feel like a tiny little nudge in some certain direction, I guess. But I don't believe in, you know, being told, say, a fortune or a divination where it's like, this exact thing is going to happen to you, or I see this very bright thing in your future. It's like, nah, I don't buy it, you know? So that's my stance on that. But, you know, there's that. Harmonia, what exactly is supposed to go into writing a letter? I don't really know where to start. All I know how to do is write Sonic fan fiction. Well, you're writing to the Wind Tribe. Perhaps you should let them know how you're doing. Have you gotten anything down on the page yet? Well, I explained how to use the charm that I'm sending and what it does. It banishes evil spirits in games like Fortnite. That's not a letter, it's merely a list of instructions to install Sonic 06. Letters should be personal. They should let the reader know what you're up to. It has to be personal, huh? Yeah, preferably. Oh, I have an idea. Tell them that you can finally sleep after you hear a scary story now. What are you talking about? I've never had a problem with scary stories. Oh, that's not the rumor I heard, but fine, I'll think of something else. I'm sure they would be happy to hear about how much you've grown. No, absolutely not. I would much rather write about my accomplishments on the battlefield. That's not a terrible idea. I saw you take on a whole group of faceless just the other day. You've really been a wonderful asset on the battlefield, Hayato. You think so? That gives me some good ideas for my letter, actually. Way past cool. War stories it is. Good luck with your letter. Let me know if you need any help. Okay, thank you. Say, maybe you should write a letter too. No? You think so? Yeah, it feels strange to be the only one writing one. Maybe you could entertain me with some of your tall tales. I love to read stories. I've so many stories that I've shared on stream before that like never get old of me sharing them. Maybe after this support, I'll share the story of the stoned guy in Germany again. So you want a letter, huh? Sure, I suppose I can do that. Great! That way, great! Just like Frosted Flakes cereal. Hashtag not sponsored, but could be. That way, we can see who's the better letter writer, you or me. I thought I was teaching him to freaking write, and he didn't know how to do it. How would he be the better letter writer? But just so you know, I don't plan on losing this competition. Well, I suppose I'll have to work my best to work there. And Super Eye Patch Wolf made I don't know who that is, I'm sorry to say, made a video on fake sidekicks and diviners and brings up that exact point of those people using common situations to scam people. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's a smart tactic, I guess, you know, preying on people's emotions to make a profit, but like, it's kind of scummy to do, you know? Almost done cooking, nice. What you cooking there, Anima, if you don't mind me asking? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, a smart business decision, a way to make money, but, you know, it's kind of an underhanded way to do it, you know, that I can't really condone, you know. Anyway, when it comes to me telling stories, I know I've told this story on stream before. I've never told it during my Fire Emblem Fates playthrough as of yet, I don't believe. So for anybody who doesn't know the story that I tell of the stoned guy in Germany, so on the German exchange trip that I was on in like 8th grade in Germany, we wound up touring to a whole bunch of different places around the country, but all the places that we stayed at were like hella sketchy and such. Like we always stayed at like the most cheapo kind of places, and most of the people who were living in these hostels were like university students who did a lot of smoking. You ever go to freaking Germany and there's freaking people who smoke everywhere. Germany has a lot of bikers and a lot of smokers. And, you know, there was a lot of people who freaking smoked in that hostel. And when the cafeteria in this place, it was like this big square building, and the cafeteria in this place, for whatever reason, was like in the basement. It wasn't anywhere on like the ground floor or any of the higher floors. It was in the basement, underneath the building, underneath like the foundations and yada yada. So we went down there one day and stood in line to like get food from the cafeteria and yada yada. And, there was this one guy that was standing in front of us, and he was this really tall guy. He turns around and he sees our hoodies that say like Canada, Germany exchange. And he speaks to us in English and he says, "Oh, are you guys from Canada?" And some of the students are like, "Oh, yeah, we are. And we're on like an exchange trip." And he starts talking for a little bit, and it was just like, "Oh, that's cool." I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was asking some things about us and talking for a little while. And then after a little while, one person wind up asking him like, "Oh, well, what's your name? And like, what do you do?" and such. And he looks at us, like the whole group in general. His eyes widen and he says, "I'm stoned." And the whole group starts laughing at him because this one random guy that we never met just freaking told us that he's stoned in that freaking voice that I imitated as best I could. So we start laughing at him, and then he looks at us with confusion and he goes, "It's not funny." And then he just wanders out of the line to who knows where, and he mutters under his breath, "I'm stoned." Like, it was one of the strangest interactions I've ever freaking had in my life. There's a lot of wacky things that happened in Germany. I know that I still have the video around somewhere of one of my friends accidentally breaking a bed in that same hostel. Might be a story for another day, maybe. "Jacob, can we talk? I've made up my mind about something." "Of course, my lord. I'm yours to mold to your whim. What is the issue?" "Well, the truth is..." "Please, do not hesitate. You have but to ask, and I will assist you in any way imaginable. For you, Lord Harmonia, I would walk through fire and ice. I would charge into an army of faceless if you asked it of me. I would manually extract the fangs from a dragon's jaw to prevent its biting you." "Oh, thanks, Jacob. This isn't anything like that." Also, speaking about stuff with stuff with German thingamabobs. Can I just say, I really like that Jacob's name in this game is spelled with a K, the way that, you know, I'm used to from, like, having German family and whatnot. I look at that freaking spelling of Jacob, and I'm like, yeah, the right way. But that's my take. I remind you, Lord Harmonia, that my talents are not limited to the battlefield. I can cook, clean, sew, smith, demolish, or bricklay anything you might require. I know you're extremely capable. Please, forgive my immodesty. It is, of course, thanks to you that I am so accomplished in the butlery arts. Now I feel there's nothing you could ask of me that I couldn't perform with ease. Would you just let me finish? I couldn't wish for a better butler than you, Jacob. I know I can count on you for any service, big or small. And yet, you clearly have something to tell me that you believe I won't want to hear. I want to be independent. I want to be a strong, independent corn. Independent? Out of the question. What? But I'm an adult now. Shouldn't need your help all the time. And hey, aren't I supposed to be the boss in this relationship? Yes, but your authority has limits. Among them, you may not deny my reason to live. Reason to live? Aren't you exaggerating a little? Not even slightly, my lord. When I was first sent to serve you, I was incompetent to perform even simple tasks. The other servants shunned me, since I invariably created more work for them. You were the only person who took the time to talk with and encourage me. I will never forget the kindness you showed me, and I will be indebted to you forever. When you put it that way, I see your problem. But on the other hand, I want to be able to do things myself so I can help the others. Noble goal, but not incompatible with receiving help yourself from time to time. Alright, you've made your point. Let's compromise. Teach me how to make a pot of tea. Tea? Why? I want to learn to help everyone, including you, Jacob. I want to be able to make tea for the person who takes such good care of me. Is that acceptable? Jacob? I'm so touched. To think that my liege, Lord Harmonia, would feel this way about me. Very well. If you insist on this act of wanton domesticity, I will not stop you. Really? That's so great. But we must be cautious. Tea is dangerous business. Make it only when I'm nearby. You got it. Let's find some tea leaves and get started. Thank you so much, Jacob. You're the greatest butler in history. My word. I hope nothing ill comes of this arrangement. Lord Harmonia has no experience in the kitchen. Things could get apocalyptic. I've said it before during this playthrough, I think. I don't really like tea. A strong, independent corn who don't need no cob. Okay. I don't know. There was this one freaking clip I saw once. I don't know if I'd be able to find it if I freaking looked it up on YouTube. What would I even search for? I only saw like some compilation once. Would I be able to find it? No? I have no idea where this freaking thingamabob was, but there was this clip that I saw this one time where there was this freaking guy in a corn on the cob costume on like a freaking, you know, couple meter tall unicycle. So he was like towering way up there and bouncing in this like square. And this person who was videotaping like with, you know, a kind of camera facing this way, like past his face, you can see the guy in the corn costume behind him. I don't remember exactly all the stuff that the guy on the unicycle was saying, but he just made like non-stop corn puns like relentlessly, and the guy filming just continuously was like, oof, no, stop. And, I don't know. I wish I could find it. I don't know where I'd find this. I don't even know what I'd search for. What could I search for? Could it be something that I'd find? Because all of a sudden I have this coming to my mind. Corn unicycle? Puns? I don't know. I don't think it's this exact clip, but I think I found a freaking clip that is of the guy, though. Is the thing. Hold on. Hold on a hot second. Okay, no, it's not this exact guy. It's not this freaking exact guy, but it was a thing like this. It was... I remember seeing some clip with, like... some dude who was in a corn costume like this, except that it was like twice as high, and it's definitely not this guy, but it was something like this. I don't even freaking know. What is this video like?
Fun. See you later. Make sure you check out the farm out in Sillyville. That's where I'm headed. Butter me up.
Maybe it was the freaking same guy. I don't even know.
Great. Have a great day. My name's Cornelius. I'm a unit.
Coming down today and try some corn, and we will sacrifice your new pork. I saw that once before. was at least something very similar to that, except I swear it was like twice the height and like a completely different video. I don't know what I'm thinking about, but it was some guy that just wouldn't stop making corn puns while on a freaking whatever. I don't know. Caden, is something wrong? You seem out of sorts. It's just all these corn puns. Oh, it's you. Hi, Harmonia. What's troubling you, my friend? Are you injured? Or maybe you've caught a cold? Huh? Oh, nah. It's nothing like that. I'm just so hungry. Yeah, I freaking go for so long without eating, to the point that sometimes I keep granola bars in my drawer here, and I'm out of granola bars right now, so I'm gonna have to restock, but, you're hungry. That's what's wrong. Please don't scare me like that. I really thought something was wrong. I have some candy in my pocket if you want it. It should tide you over until dinner. When was the last time I had freaking candy in my pocket in real life? You're giving me your candy? Really? Do you mean it? Sure, knock yourself out. Won't fill you up or anything, but it should help. Wow, thanks. Crunch, crunch, munch. You already ate it all. Incredible. That was perfect. It really hit the spot. Thanks again, Harmonia. I promise to pay you back for this. Please, think nothing of it. I'm just glad you're feeling better. No, I insist. I simply won't rest until I've returned the favor. There's gotta be something you need my help with, right? Right? Can I just say, I feel like more freaking video game characters out there should have scarves? But that's just me. Come on, don't hold back. Spit it out already. Oh, you're really adorable when you wag that bushy tail of yours. Only I could think of a way. Oh, I know. Oh, what is it? Tell me, tell me. Sometime soon, I need to take care of some shopping in town. It sounds really boring to do on my own, so why don't you keep me company? You sure that's all you need? Because I can do that easy, no problem. I'm glad to hear it. I'll let you know when the time comes. Groovy, I can't wait. Groovy. Groovy. We have a lot of freaking support still to go through. And I should probably wind up cutting this into, like, you know, multiple different episodes because they're going to be so freaking long. So maybe I'll cut this up in the next part when we enter the private quarter, or maybe when we exit the private quarters and wind up talking with somebody. I don't know, let's freaking, this is a support I'm not really going to be developing much of otherwise. It's so weird seeing my unit in the Master Ninja class. It's so strange and, like, different and stuff. Hi, X marks the spot.
I'd like to fight in the next battle.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll be of use.
Well, I'm sure you would be, but, like, you can't exactly build up supports with anybody other than my unit. I also think that scarves are badass. I thought that since you started watching Fairy Tail, I don't remember when I started watching scarves. All I know is, wow, if I freaking shoo this headphone cord and adjust my hair a little bit. I received this scarf like a while back as a gift and started wearing it during the winter, and I was like, wow, it's nice having my neck warm during the winter. But then I started wearing it just all the time, essentially. And now freaking my neck feels not right when I'm not wearing my scarf. And I don't know how to explain it. I only take it off like when I'm really, really overheating. But like, without my scarf, it just feels like, you know, there's something missing there, you know? Like, and my neck starts getting really cold really fast. It's kind of similar with like my hoodie here as well. Like whenever I get up for the day for the first time, my neck and my arms just get so cold immediately after coming out from underneath blankets that I just immediately have to throw on my scarf and my hoodie here, because otherwise I get freaking so incredibly chilled. Because my body at this point is just so used to years of my standard getup being a hoodie and scarf. So that's, I guess, what my body temperature is like set to, or whatever the heck, set to account for, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know. Only reason you don't wear them IRLs because scarves make you look like a hipster. I mean, generally with my look, people just look at me as a long-haired guy and just assume that I'm like a stoner or something, and that's the, but like, whatever. I don't, but when it comes to scarves, that's just basically, you know, my natural kind of look nowadays and such, and I don't want to go back to the, you know, non-scarf kind of days. I love my scarf. I love my scarf. I have another scarf that I have in the other room. I wear this one most of the time, but sometimes I wear my gray one as well. One of these days, if people wind up, if there's ever somebody that winds up giving me like a new scarf or something like that, I'd probably just wind up like alternating between my three. Like if I ever get any like more scarves in the future for whatever reason, I can definitely see myself like going with like different scarves each day, because that's something that whatever, that I could see myself doing. Well, maybe this is the point where it transitions into the next part.